We preview the Baltimore Ravens season and tell you if they get over or under their season win total. And we let you know how you could win $1,000 from us here at Grandstand Bettors for absolutely free. And it all starts right now. What is going on, everyone? It's Matt from Grandstand Bettors, and last year we cashed 70% of our season win total predictions, so we figured why not run it back in 2022 and see if we can't hit 87%. We're also excited to announce that our second annual NFL betting contest is now open for registration. All you have to do is go to grandstandbettors.com, get signed up, and you could win $1,000 of cold hard cash at the end of the NFL season. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but first, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, smack that like button, and without further ado, let's dive in to the Baltimore Ravens season preview. And the Ravens, they have a season win total set at 9.5. And you can't talk about the Baltimore Ravens without talking about their star quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Now, as a lot of people speculated, injuries are starting to become an issue for him as he continues to try to run the ball against NFL defenses. Now, last year, he certainly made an effort to improve his skills as a pocket quarterback, as he was actually averaging 240 yards passing per game, and he had 16 touchdowns prior to injury. Now, they've got him a pretty solid wide receiver core last season, but losing Sammy Watkins and Marquise Brown, or Hollywood Brown as you might know him, in free agency this year, he did not help the situation going into 2022. Second-year wideout Rashard Bateman will most likely be his number one receiver alongside Devin DuVernay and tight end Mark Andrews, who had a hell of a year last year. He led the team in receiving with 1,361 yards and 9 touchdowns, and he averaged 12.7 yards per reception. Now, he gets a lot of dump-offs, Mark Andrews, that is, while Lamar starts to scramble, and always Lamar can find him in the right place at the right time, usually in the middle of the field between the linebackers and safeties for a huge play. But getting back to Lamar, we expect him to lay off the running with the ball a bit more this season and avoid getting injured, but there still is that continual threat that he can tuck the ball and run, especially in those third down situations, which he loves to do to extend drives. Now, even though he played in 4 less games than their starting running back, he still led the team with over 700 yards rushing last season. So defenses, you can't sleep on him just yet. Now, the Ravens were very busy in the offseason in free agency. Although they did not bring in any really big names, they were going around and making very solid moves to add a lot of depth to both sides of the ball, which was a big issue for them last season with all the injuries they underwent. Of course, these additions, we want to highlight the signing of Marcus Williams from the Saints and right tackle Morgan Moses from the Jets. These two guys, they're going to be incorporated into their starting lineup almost immediately, and Marcus Williams should be a huge boost to their secondary, which gave up a league's worst 278 passing yards per game in 2021. Now, the issue was certainly a priority for the Ravens this offseason because they used all their draft picks on defense. In the first round, they got an absolute steal, taking Kyle Hamilton, in our opinion, out of Notre Dame. What a great pick there at 14. In rounds 2 and 3, they got outside linebacker David Ajobo out of Michigan and defensive tackle Travis Jones out of UConn. In round 4, they also drafted 2 cornerbacks, and although it is not for their defense, we do want to quickly highlight they got probably the best center in the draft with Tyler Lindenbaum out of Iowa. Now, we think they had one of the best drafts out of any team, and with guys like J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Marcus Peters all returning from injuries last season, the Ravens, they're going to be in full form again this year. At the end of the day, though, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy, this team can be lethal. And you can't forget that in 2019, this was a 14-win team. Vegas most likely has this line a little lower at 9.5 this year because of how susceptible Lamar is to getting injured. And even with Tyler Huntley at a starting quarterback, remember, the Ravens only lost to the Steelers by 3, the Super Bowl champs by 1, the Packers by 1, and the Browns by 2. So Huntley, he can fill in for Lamar if he's needed. Don't be surprised at all if the Ravens have one of the best records in the AFC at the end of the season and are posed to make another deep playoff run. We are very high on the Ravens, which kills us being a Browns fan this year, and this is why we hate to do this, but we are going to take the over 9.5 wins for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, our previews, they are in full swing here in the first week of August, and we are now in the AFC North. Look for the Steelers, Bengals, and our beloved Browns to be coming up in the next few days. You're not going to want to miss us talk about the Deshaun Watson rant and all of his suspension news that just came out. In the meantime, though, don't forget, sign up for the 2022 NFL betting contest at grandstandbettors.com. The link is below in the description. And remember, you could win $100 just by referring the most people to the contest. We are going to give away some great quarterly prizes again this year. And remember, first prize, taking home $1,000 at the end of the season. As always, though, sit back, relax. If you're a Ravens fan, you should be ready for a great season. And we'll see you soon with another season preview.